Hello students, today we are going to continue our topic, that is force and laws of motion. In our previous class we have studied about what is force, what are the different types of forces, that is balanced force, unbalanced force. Then we have studied about Newton's first law of motion, which is also called law of inertia. In that we have studied three types of inertia, that is inertia of rest, inertia of motion and inertia of direction. In this class we are going to study about what is momentum, then Newton's second law of motion, applications of Newton's second law of motion, mathematical formulation of second law of motion. Then we will be studying about Newton's third law of motion, applications of Newton's third law of motion in our day-to-day life, and the last, that is law of conservation of momentum. Now let's see some slides related to these topics. Clear? So today we are going to study about momentum. So what is momentum? Okay, so momentum is defined as the product of mass and velocity. It is denoted by the letter P. Suppose if the mass of the body is m and v is the velocity of the body, then the linear momentum will be given as P equals to m into v, or we can say that P equals to mv. The unit of momentum is kg meter per second. Momentum is a vector quantity. Now we will be studying about how momentum is related to Newton's second law of motion. Newton's second law of motion states that the rate of change of momentum of an object is directly proportional to the applied unbalanced force in the direction of force. So see here how force is related to mass and acceleration. So see the picture over here, one man, he is applying a force, so more the force, more will be the acceleration. See in first picture he is applying a force, and in second picture we will see how the body accelerates from one place to other. Means here force is directly proportional to mass of a body as well as acceleration. If more the mass, we have to apply more force, less the mass, less will be the force. Similarly, force is directly proportional to acceleration of the body. More the force, more will be the acceleration, less the force, less will be the acceleration. See in the pictures, see one boy, he is having one box, other boy he is pulling two boxes. In one case the mass is more, in one case the mass is less. So here in one case, in first case the force applied will be less, and in second case it will be more. Clear? So after this we will be studying some applications of Newton's second law of motion. So what happens in a day-to-day life, nowadays you are observing IPL matches. So catching a cricket ball, this is one example. You might have seen that while catching a fast moving cricket ball, a fielder in the ground gradually pulls his hand backward with the moving ball. Why he do so? The fielder increases the time during which the high velocity of the ball decreases to 0. Thus the acceleration of the ball is decreased, and therefore the impact of catching the fast moving ball is also reduced. So in first case what happens, if the ball is stopped suddenly, then its high velocity immediately decreases to 0 in a very short interval of time, and thus the rate of change of momentum of the ball will be large. Therefore, a large force would have to be applied for holding the catch that may hurt the palm of the fielder. Follow this thing. Now second application we will be observing, you might have seen that a karate player breaks a pile of tile in a single blow. So what happens in that, the karate player hits the pile of tiles or a slab of brick or as fast as possible with her hand. In doing so, the entire momentum of the body is reduced to 0 in a very short period of time. As a result, the force delivered on the tiles or a slab is large enough to break it. So these are some of the applications related to Newton's second law of motion. Clear? Now here mathematical formulation of Newton's second law of motion, that we will be deriving an equation, that is F equals to m into a, that is force equal to mass into acceleration. You see here one body is there having mass m moving in a straight line with an initial velocity u. It is uniformly accelerated to a velocity v in time t by the application of constant force in time t. Then the initial momentum of the object, that is P1 equals to m into u, that is mu. Okay. Final momentum of the object P2 equal to m into v. Change in momentum will be P2 minus P1, it will be mv minus mu. Next to that, what happens here? M is common, so v minus u. Rate of change of momentum. Rate is related to what? Time. So m v minus u upon t. Now, according to Newton's second law of motion, we have, that is, force is directly proportional to what? Mass and acceleration. So F proportional to m v minus u upon t. Clear? But what happens? Acceleration equals to v minus u upon t. So instead of v minus u upon t, we will replace it by a. So it will be F proportional to m into a. Now what happens when we will remove the proportionality sign? What happens? We have to take one constant, that is k, that is known as constant of proportionality. So it will be F equal to kma and its value is 1. Okay. Therefore, F will be equals to m into a. Clear? That is, force is equal to mass and acceleration of a body. This shows that force is directly proportional to the mass of the body as well as it is directly proportional to the acceleration of the body. Clear? Now, SI unit of force. So, F equals to m into a. So, unit of mass is kg and unit of acceleration is meter per second square. So, F equal to kg meter per second square, which is nothing but it is Newton. So, now we will define what is Newton. F equal to ma, you take it into consideration that 1 Newton is the force which when applied on a body having a mass of 1 kg produces an acceleration of 1 meter per second square. Clear? Now, we will be shifting on to Newton's third law of motion. Newton's third law of motion states that to every action there is equal and opposite reaction. So, always remember one thing, that action and reaction do not act on the same body, but they act on two different bodies. Clear? Now, after this I will be telling you some applications of Newton's third law of motion. Here comes the first application, a girl jumping out of a boat. So, what happened when a girl is jumping? See the picture. See the picture, a girl is jumping out of a boat. So, while she is jumping out on the bank of the river, what she is doing? She is applying action force on the boat. At the same time, the boat is also applying a reaction force on the girl. As a result, the girl moves forward. Clear? Now, we will be studying a second example of this, that is recoiling of a gun. You might have seen gun. So, what happened? What is the meaning of recoiling of a gun? It is related to again Newton's third law of motion. When a bullet is fired from a gun, so what happened? An action force is exerted on the bullet. As a result, the bullet moves forward, but at the same time the reaction force is exerted by the bullet on the gun, and as a result the gun recoils. This is the recoiling of the gun, related to Newton's third law of motion, and it is also related to law of conservation of momentum. So, here third applications of Newton's third law of motion, that is, a swimmer pushes the water backward with hand to move in a forward direction. So, while swimming we have seen that our hands and legs, they exert an action force on water. At the same time, the water also exerts a reaction force on our body that makes us to swim forward. Clear? Now, the fourth example, working of a jet plane. Okay. So, in this case, see the picture, jet planes you might have seen in a day-to-day life. So, in this what happens in working of a jet plane? So, the working of a rocket or a jet plane is also based on Newton's third law. A rocket contains a combustion chamber having a hole at its bottom. When fuel burns rapidly, the hot gases emerge forcefully from the bottom in a backward direction and the rocket moves in a forward direction. The force exerted by rocket on gases is the action force, and the force exerted by the gases on rocket is the reaction force. It is this reaction force on the rocket in forward direction due to which the rocket moves forward. So, these are the four applications of what? Newton's third law of motion. Is it clear? Now we will be studying about law of conservation of momentum. So what is momentum? Already we have studied that momentum is a product of mass and velocity. So what happens here? The law says that the total momentum of two bodies before and after collision remains the same. So for that one derivation is there, that is m1u1 plus m2u2 equals to m1v1 plus m2v2. So here you see two bodies are there, A and B, okay, having mass m1 and m2. Both are moving with the initial velocity u1 and u2 in a straight line. Here the velocity of body A is more than that of body B, that is u1 is greater than that of u2. So after some time there is a collision between body A and B, clear. So when the body collides with each other, what happens? Action is done by A on B, at the same time you will see that the reaction is done by B on A. So here the momentum of a ball A before and after collision is m1u1 and m1v1 respectively. If there was no external force acting on the body, then the rate of change of momentum of ball A during collision will be equal to m1v1 minus u1 upon t. Similarly, the rate of change of momentum of ball B after collision will be m2v2 minus u2 upon t. Clear? Let FAB be the force exerted by ball A on B. So, and FBA be the force exerted by ball B on A. So, here FAB will be equal to m1 v1 minus u1 upon t. Similarly, FBA equals to m2 v2 minus u2 upon t. Clear? Now, what happens? According to Newton's third law of motion, we have to every action there is equal and opposite reaction. The opposite reaction in that case we have written minus reaction. So, FAB equals to minus FBA. Clear? So, we will write m1 v1 minus u1 upon t equals to minus m2 v2 minus u2 upon t. Now, here t will get cancelled. Now, it will be m1 v1 minus m1 u1, that is equal to minus m2 v2 plus m2 u2. Now, you take u to one side and v to one side. So, it will be m1 u1 plus m2 u2 equal to m1 v1 plus m2 v2. So, this is law of conservation of momentum, that is total momentum before collision is equal to total momentum after collision. Clear? So, I think so this topic is clear to you. Thank you.